Welcome back, calculates. So today we get to learn more derivative rules. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So the product rule, if you say this little saying in your head over and over and over until you can't forget it, it'll help you remember how to do product rule. So my little hieroglyphics say first times derivative of the second plus second times derivative of the first. And of course, if I put that in formal notation, it would be first times derivative of the second, but that would be g prime, right? Plus second, which is g of x, times derivative of the first, but that would be f prime. And if you were like super fancy notation, let the next one come up, pause the video while you write it down. I told you that was super fancy. Okay, then quotient rule. Fortunately for you, you go to a really awesome school that's going to help you remember quotient rule. Low, high, woo! So this is how I remember. Low-D high minus high-D low over low squared. And so what it looks like formally, a little more formally, is low, which is g of x, d high, which would be f prime, that's the derivative of the high, numerator, minus high, high, so the high is f of x, d low, so that would be g prime, derivative of the low, all over low squared. So again, low-D high, minus high-D low, all over low squared. Low, high comes first. And then the next trig functions, again, you have to memorize. It helps knowing those trig identities, because if you remember, tangent and secant went together in one, so the derivative of tangent is secant squared, and the derivative of secant is secant tangent. You will have to memorize these. I highly recommend flashcards. And the derivative of cotangent, you will use these all year long, is negative cosecant squared. And the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. Oops, I forgot the x. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and I'm going to write them all out so that you can kind of see some patterns. So here's some strategies we used last year to help us remember these. So putting the 6 trig functions in order as you learn them. I notice over here on the derivatives, and some things I noticed is the negatives alternate. So it goes positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. If it has sign and it's reciprocal, another way to remember it's negative. The first 2 functions are just the plain trig functions. Then they're both squared, the 2 values are squared. And then the bottom ones are a blend. If I notice secant and tangent are always somehow together in here. And of course cosecant and cotangent are always together. So we'll talk about it if you come up with some other strategies, but those are a few that we noticed last year that helped students remember them.